You are listening to Rouge Radio, a proud member of the Canadian Football Podcast Network.
It's time to get the point as Rouge Radio is ready to kick off.
Ready!
The best football talk with the best in the business.
So what is the cost? You have 2 first-round picks this year because the Argos were dumb enough to trade for Drew Willie.
A few rookies.
We go directly to the on-field product. We welcome to the show the 20th overall pick in this past Sunday's CFL draft, DeAndre Wright of the Alouettes. DeAndre, welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
And the occasional Hall of Famer.
Please welcome Doug Brown, who is one of the members of the current class of 2016 in the CFL Hall of Fame. Doug, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thank you guys for the kind words and for having me on the program.
Rouge Radio is on the air. Here's your hosts, Robert Dalton and Tony Allen.
Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rouge Radio podcast powered by the Canadian Football Podcast Network. My name is Robert Dalton, and this is episode 557. Holy cow, can I not talk on this torrentious downpour of a province? And Tony, if you're watching this, Tony's got a, what was that? Help me out here.
That's my
Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe, He-Man Tumblr, I guess you'd call it.
I thought you were trying to advertise.
Right?
This podcast, of course, we are sponsored by the good people over at Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com, enter the promo code Rouge. That tells them that the boys from Rouge Radio sent you. That means you get 20% off your order plus free worldwide shipping. Go to Manscaped. Your balls will thank you. Tony, you're still in Red Deer, but that's going to be expiring soon. And where are you going to be next week?
Oh, I don't know. Do you want me to give it away? We don't want to. Well, we don't need to mess around. I am going to be a new province for this show. I've done the show from Ontario. I've done it from Saskatchewan, obviously Alberta. And for the first time ever, I'll be doing the show from beautiful Sparwood, British Columbia.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to just Google where that is, but you're closer to your boy, Nathan Rourke. That's
right. Maybe I will have to convert to a little bit of a BC Lions fan when I'm in BC, just to fit in.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have to, I know it kind of faded away, but you're going to have to dust off that custom jersey.
That custom Nathan Rourke jersey I have.
Yeah, there we go. We got a great show. Obviously, we're going to preview week 2. We're going to bring back a monumental segment that we've always come to know and love. It's one that we put together. We invented. I mean, it's not necessarily rocket science, but there are some shows out there that are coming up with something similar. But
we were the first.
We were the first.
I feel like we were the first.
It's the mystery deck. But first, hey, you want to talk about some, the week 1 that happened? We don't want to spend too much time because we've got, we've already talked about week 1 last week, but we'll talk about it. Some great football that was played this past week, and we'll start off in Hamilton. The Hamilton Tiger Cats eked out a loss. If we're going to bring back the Rougies, I think this might be front runner for
snatching from the hands of victory.
Yeah, exactly. A 30-27 loss at the hands of the Montreal Alouettes on a game-winning field goal in overtime, fresh off a fumble by a newly signed free agent Carrick Wheatfall, and it's heartbreaking. But I mean, if you're a Hamilton Tiger Cat fan, there was 2 interceptions that were dropped. Montreal gave you 100 yards plus in field position by penalties, and it still went to overtime. I would venture to say that as much as good as you played, that wasn't your game to win.
Well, the thing, and with that game, I was watching, and maybe I'm a Debbie Downer here. Maybe I'm just being a jerk here, but I think, did it happen right before the half? A little fuzzy of one half. All I know is Montreal tries to go big down the center of the field. Great defensive play. by the Tiger Cats secondary, kills it. And then just a short time later, Montreal does it again, and there isn't a Tiger Cat to be found.
Mm-hmm.
And they're praising Montreal for the play, which is great. But there was the part of me that was also, Hamilton, you just stopped this identical play a few minutes ago. How did they burn you with it so badly? You've already seen it. You already stopped it. And you got burnt. So when you got burnt, and so when they were praising Montreal for the heads up play, it was like there was almost a part of me that's like, shut up, Montreal should have never, like, that wasn't a brilliant play by Montreal. You did it once. You should be lambasting the Tiger Cats for how did you get burnt on the same play you clearly saw coming last time? That was like the big thing out of the gate. Like the game all around was weird back and forth, but that was just like, for some reason, that just stuck in my craw when they're going on about praising Montreal for this play. It's like, we saw it and it failed. How did they pull it off this second? Like, they should have been able to pull it off again. Hamilton, you saw it already.
Mm-hmm. And before we go, before my only takeaway from this game is can we stop with the undefeated in the regular season as a starting quarterback for Davis Alexander? Like I get it.
Yeah.
You know, you can say that, hey, he has been, but we don't need to have it thrust down our throats, because that was a big thing going into the Grey Cup, and he lost. It's a team game, but he lost. You can't just all of a sudden have, hype that up going into the Grey Cup, have him lose, and be like, it doesn't matter. We're only going to be invested into the regular season now. No, you're just
I mean, we live in a sports world where they'll do that, right? Like these little milestones are the norm now. Like they haven't given up a goal, or they haven't given up a touchdown in third quarters of football games since last year. And then the reality is they're like a 9-9 football club. They haven't won a Grey Cup, but for some reason they just like, this is the 38th game in a row that they haven't given up a touchdown or a point in third quarters of football games. So it's like, but that's what we do now. We, in this world of analytics, where goaltenders now have expected goals against or expected goals, I'm like, it's just a goals against average. Like, I won't get on my analytics soapbox, but it's like you've got all these idiotic things that we track in football games. Like, we found a way, we had interceptions, whatever, and now we've managed to fabricate these much more difficult ways of just saying interceptions per game and yards per game. And I mean, and we track these stupid things. Like, I'm not saying Alexander's unbeaten streak in regular season is something you cast aside. I actually think it's interesting in the regular season, but at the end of the day, you got to get it done when it matters. Like, at the end of the day, you still haven't taken Montreal to a Grey Cup. That's when it really matters. But I know what you're saying. Like, do we need it every single time they put his face on the TV? I mean, I don't know. We need it about as much as we needed to know who Luke Tasker's dad was every time he touched a football. So,
oh yeah. Well, thank God the person who brought that up isn't broadcasting anymore. The next game, the Bombers eked out, and this caught us both off guard, because you had a blowout, a low scoring blowout. I had a 5-point victory by Calgary, and we were both wrong, and it was by it was a great game. You can't say one team had it more than the other. It was a legit back and forth. At one point, Winnipeg had an 8-point lead. At one point, Calgary had a 5-point lead, and it ended up with the Bombers with a 2-point win, last second field goal. I don't want to dwell too much on this, but clearly good old Flo or Malade not being in the lineup had to had an impact of the Calgary Stampeders. Not to saying that the Calgary D-line wasn't bad. I have an opinion that Malade is probably one of the most underrated defensive players in the CFL today. And then not having Jalen Hutchins in the lineup that game, that really probably Winnipeg took advantage of it. Brady Oliveira has 100 yards plus running. Save for a quarter, Zach Collaros he didn't look like last year's Zach Collaros. And I think that might have been a huge difference, is that Collaros did not lose the game. I don't think he won the game. He didn't need to. He didn't do anything. That was like 2019 Collaros, essentially. Did not do anything to lose the game. And the defense took, they took their lumps, and then third quarter comes, they locked it down. Again, that drive. By the way, I don't know if you have your magnificent bastard. Honorable mention if you don't pick him, Vernon Adams. That 100-yard plus drive to take the lead, even though it was for like 40 seconds, amazing. And the fact he got sacked twice on that drive and to still lead the Stampeders in a minute and a half to take the lead on the touchdown drive, that is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Your thoughts before we move on?
This one, I am not even ashamed to say I missed, because I was reliving my childhood. Friday night, right after work, I came back to where I'm staying, watched the football game until it was time to go, and then got to the theater early so I could watch Masters of the Universe, because I've been waiting 40 years for this movie, and I don't care that we're CFL podcast. I'm doing it anyways. Masters of the Universe is my childhood He-Man. I loved every second of that movie. I had a grin on my face from ear to ear. I paid a fortune for this cup, and I don't care, because it's my childhood right here. And so I missed this game, and I'm not even going to apologize, because I was in a theater being 10 years old again, watching Master of the Universe, He-Man, all the characters I grew up with on the big screen. I love that movie.
Well, we'll bring it back we'll talk about the last game. The Edmonton Elks finally, for the first time in 2,500 days,
I was going to say, whew,
have a plus
slump.
500 record in the regular season. The last time that they had a 500 record was 2019, and I believe it might have been week 3. I could be wrong about that one, but it's been a while, and good on them. Move
over Connor McDavid. There is a new superstar in Edmonton.
Justin Rankin.
Justin Rankin.
Yeah, the new Superman.
Hog, man! What a beast! I wasn't thinking about Magnificent Bastards, but why? Let's just throw it right out there right now. That guy is a friggin' unit. Like, gosh, get hyped for this guy, Edmonton. Like
100 yards rushing on 9 carries. What the
magnificent bastard?
What are we doing? Like, I was on MOP on this guy, and the only reason he did not even get any remote consideration is because there was a guy in BC that threw for 5,000 yards, and the Elks didn't make the playoffs. That was the only those were the only difference. Justin Rankin should have been MOP last year. That's
and he's making a hell of a case already for 2026, and we just got started. Like, can you imagine what this season could be like?
We need to start tracking the MOP. We need to have up a formula for MOP candidates, because
if they don't like our power rankings, then let's have MOP watch. It's time for the brand new Rouge Radio MOP watch.
And number 1, Justin Mother effing Rankin, as our good friend Joe usually shouts up on Twitter.
And our formula is, we don't effing care. It's our MOP watch.
Yeah. There's Yeah, like
Your approval is not needed
yeah,
or required.
we
It's our MOP watch.
uh, you just you want to. I mean, that's it. You like, is there anything that we need
Well,
to
the
talk?
only other takeaway I had for the game is like I was watching it, and I was watching with my buddy, and I don't know. I remember turning him to and saying like, doesn't it feel like Edmonton should be winning this game by a lot more early on into the football
Oh,
game?
those turnovers in the
Like
first
I was
half.
watching this thing and I'm like, why does it feel like Edmonton's dominating and this score does not reflect
Mhm.
how much better Edmonton is than Ottawa is right now?
And you can't even
Like,
and credit to both teams playing in those kind of conditions. You can't even use
Yeah.
the conditions towards that. I didn't
No.
see Cody Fajardo fumbling. I didn't see Cody Fajardo throwing a bad pass. Well, he threw a couple bad passes, but they weren't related
Yeah.
to the weather. Jake Mayer was just Jake Mayer.
Garbage.
Yeah, he like conditions be damned. I'm willing to bet, but to bottom dollar, Jake Mayer makes those mistakes in a sunny afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is Jake Mayer. You're there's nothing that says in the history of Jake Mayer that says, you know what, Jake Mayer is going to turn it around, and there is a slight possibility he might, but there's nothing.
Explain Jake Mayer to me then. Like, let's bring that back around. Like, why does this guy keep popping up? And why do they like we knew he was done when he lost the job in Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. And but Ottawa was so like, and not only did he start, people they were so excited to hype up Jake Mayer's start in Ottawa to start the season. There's a new mayor in town or whatever the heck. I know there's some people that it's not pronounced mayor as in mayor of a town, but like mayor. Yeah, I don't care. Either way,
I call him.
I don't know why you would be excited that this guy's even on your team.
I call him Jake May.
Yeah, that's all he is.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah, there's a low bar in Ottawa. Can you imagine how much how low does Dinwiddie think of Drew Brown that he said Jake Mayer is going to take over, and he never left QB1 throughout the whole game.
Awful.
Quarterback controversy already in Ottawa.
I mean, the only controversy is why the hell they're playing. I'm like, that's the only controversy. Is like, what do you see in this guy? Like, I remember telling me like when I still had Twitter, and I said, and Mayer goes to Saskatchewan. I'm like, well, that as a Stampeders fan, I'm glad to see him. And people are tweeting me, oh, you're gonna live to eat those words. You're gonna regret them. I'm like, no, I'm pretty much confident in my statement that I'm not going to miss Jake Mayer.
He had one game started in Saskatchewan. They won that game, but it wasn't because of Jake Mayer.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We're bringing back the mystery deck.
Oh, we're going mystery deck, eh?
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, let's go right in. We'll jump right into it. Okay, here's today's player. This player was born in Mississauga, Ontario, so we'll come out with some good CanCon content.
All right.
In 1993, joins the Calgary Stampeders. Enters the league with the Stampeders in 93, stays there till 95.
Oh, geez.
96, he spends with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. 97, he goes to BC. Then from 98 to 2002, he plays with the Calgary Stampeders until he retires. Anything jumping off the page at you right away? Is there a name that just jumped right in there?
The BC Lions.
95 Stamps. 96, he was a Blue Bomber. 97, he goes to BC. Then he comes back to where it all starts in 98 and plays in Calgary until 2002 when he retires.
I was going to say Dwayne Ford.
Not Dwayne Ford.
Yeah, because I know that he played for Winnipeg. He threw me off with the 96 because I know he played for Winnipeg, but I thought it was like 93, 94.
I I was going to say, wouldn't it be weird if there was one of these players that actually followed each other all across the league and it wasn't the guy I picked? But
Yeah.
in this case, Dwayne Ford is not the answer we're looking for.
Okay.
Although I did once sell a book to Dwayne Ford when I was working at Chapters in Chinook Mall in Calgary.
You did?
Yeah, Dwayne Ford came to my till. Like, hey, you're Dwayne Ford. Anyways, now part of this contest. Two-time Grey Cup winner. CFL All-Star in 2000. Three-time West All-Star in 99, 2000, and 2001.
Okay, so two.
Wins the Tom Pate Memorial Award in 2002 for the CFL's player for
Okay,
demonstrates
all right.
the most sportsmanship, dedication, and commitment to the community.
Okay, I don't follow the Tom Pate ones.
Yep.
Is this Greg Freres?
Dang, I didn't even give you the position. Greg Freres is the player.
All right. Yeah, you know what threw me off? Again, it's the BC Lions, and that's why I kind of like really hesitant to say Dwayne Ford because I don't think he did play for the BC Lions, and I almost forgot that Greg Freres had a cup of coffee with the Lions, but primarily, well, he actually had a cup of coffee with the Bombers. And the only reason I know about this is
coffee, apparently.
the only reason I know about this is, or I remember this is, Greg Freres used to, he was one of the panelists for CBC when the CFL was on CBC, and he had nothing good to say about the Bombers. And I think the online presence was, well, he was just mad because Winnipeg let him go back in the 96. I mean, worked out well for Greg Freres, but Winnipeg, we can't let anything go. All right. On that note, let's go to week 2 preview, and week 2 begins tomorrow, which, as of right now, is 300 tickets short of a sellout in Winnipeg. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers host the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Winnipeg is favored by 2.5, and the over/under is set at 51.5. No notable injuries from Winnipeg outside of Jaden Woodby and Deshaun Dixon. There are replacements of David Reese as well as Deshaun Jenkins in Winnipeg. In Hamilton, still no Wynton McManus. Your thoughts? Where do you think this one is going to go?
Actually, I'm even before I give my answer, I'm still flip-flopping on it. I feel like at face value alone, I put a little bit more stock in Hamilton putting 27 up against Montreal than I do Winnipeg scoring 30 on the Stampeders. Maybe that's fair, maybe it's not, but for some reason, it's making it difficult. I want to take the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I really do. I think at the end of the day, they're probably the better football club, but I'm going to take the Tiger Cats at 24-14 in this one.
Well, you're taking the under and the Tiger Cats plus the points.
Yeah.
Nice.
We could open up with probably an upset if you would consider that.
At this point, home opener, possibly 15th straight sellout. I will be there with kid in hand. So if you are watching this, listening to this, you are going to Princess Auto Stadium, look for me. I will be there. May not look this jovial tomorrow, but I will definitely be there. One thing I look at what Winnipeg, I had some obviously huge questions going into the season. And the 98% of the questions that I had were answered last week. And granted, it's week 1. I asked, can the offensive line be up to snuff to keep Zach Collaros clean? And for the most part, they did. Zach Collaros threw for 65%, 230 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 crazy interception. Not bad. Running back, 100 yards plus. Tim White, new acquisition, leading receiver on that team for 60 yards, touchdown. Jake Seresna, three sacks. That Calgary offensive line, Like once Winnipeg figured it out in the second half, I think Calgary's offensive line and their defensive line just got stuck. When I look at Calgary, what they were able to do against Winnipeg, and that is that running game, Dedrick Mills, you can't convince me that Hamilton has that running game. And I think that would be, if Hamilton had a running game, that I think that would scare a lot of people. I would probably be on closer to your side. Maybe not that much of a score, but I would probably give the edge to Hamilton. Is Bo Levi Mitchell, can Bo Levi Mitchell get, enough time to find all his targets? Because if he can, it's going to be a shootout. And if it comes to that, I don't know if I like Winnipeg's chances for that one, but I don't think it is going to be a shootout. I think Winnipeg does come out, eke out a win. Probably we're going to have some reverse things going to happen last week. Maybe Jake Ceresna does not get 3 sacks as much as Glenn Suter likes to believe. But I think there's going to be some other people that are going to stand up. Nick Dembski was relatively quiet. He feasts against the Hamilton Tiger Cats game in and game out. I just not convinced Hamilton is there. And at home, it's a heartbreaking, as I want to go back to Hamilton's heartbreaking loss there. Because sometimes when you have that kind of win, when the game was on a silver platter, it becomes so demoralizing, especially when you come into the season with so much high expectations, the consensus number 1 team in the East. You go into a rowdy crowd in Winnipeg. It's how at Hamilton. I know it's an early in the season, but this might be a must win as you get must win as an early, because if Hamilton goes down 0-2 with these lofty expectations, they might be more demoralized than we might have known. So with that being said, I think that this is going to be close. I think Hamilton covers, but I also do think Winnipeg ekes out a win, similar to last week against Calgary. I have Winnipeg 28-27 over the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Next game is Toronto in Montreal. Toronto makes their debut in 2026. Montreal is favored by 6.5. Over-under is at 51.5. Looks like Toronto is going to be without Jake Herslow. That takes an immediate offensive weapon out of Chad Kelly's, who makes his return to the CFL since the East Final in 2024. That's a long time. Montreal, running back issues. Who knows who's going to be starting? I haven't looked at the depth chart yet, but for me, I look at our expectations of Toronto. I look at what we saw with Montreal last week. Clean up the penalties. I think this might be over by halftime. Might not be reaching the over, but Montreal wins this quite handily. I am not convinced that defense got better in Toronto by losing. Granted, he might be injured most of the time, and Went McManus. I like Darius Pickett. I don't think he's a game changer that Went McManus is. I like Montreal to win this one quite handily, 34-10 over the Toronto Argonauts. Tony. Okay, you're going to have to.
Oh yeah, we gotta. What's up with this background? I think it's the distortion thing. I have 34-10 Montreal.
Oh wow!
You picked the exact same score as me. That's what I was trying to show you. I couldn't believe that. That's so weird.
Everything you could have said, you could have just said ditto.
Yeah. It is. There's no reason to go on. I'm actually trying to find if I can get this on. There it was.
There we go.
That's backwards. Montreal. You picked the exact same. I gave away my next score, but either way.
That's fine. Last game of the week is the BC Lions in Saskatchewan, the rematch of the 2025 Western Final. Saskatchewan is favored by 1.5. 52.5 is the over-under. No notable injuries as these two teams are making their 2026 debut. Tony, where do you got this in this one here?
Yeah, this one's interesting. This was tough too because we got a weekend, and we haven't seen either of these teams, which is ridiculous. Saskatchewan is the defending Grey Cup champion. I feel like obligated to take them. but I don't want to take them. Maybe this is me more propping BC up where I think they're going to be and maybe how they're going to end in the season. Probably put in the wagon before the horse on this one, but thinking BC is probably the best team in the West right now. Obviously, Saskatchewan fans are celebrating because I didn't have nice things to say about the Riders last year, and it resulted in a Grey Cup. So most Riders fans are probably going to be very excited about the score I'm going to cough up here. But I'm going to take BC 31-20. I think it's going to be a pretty good football game. I think both teams will look good. I don't think Saskatchewan's going to look horrible in taking a loss here, but I'm going to take BC to start off their season with a W, despite being in Saskatchewan, and maybe just all the pomp and circumstances that'll be around the Riders as they celebrate their Grey Cup and all. There'll be a lot of emotion in that stadium, and it doesn't always necessarily mean the home team's going to ride that to an easy win.
You picked the BC Lions win. We go live to Saskatchewan. I know in years past, week one, we kind of really go heavy with the defending Grey Cup champions. Because our MO is, like Ric Flair says, to be the man, you got to beat the man, right? And nobody's beaten Saskatchewan for that title yet. The problem is BC, and I've been vocal online about their glaring hole in the secondary. I think if their front seven is not on their A game, I think that might be toast. The problem is I don't think Saskatchewan has those weapons to take advantage of everything. I think Saskatchewan's go-to is to dink and dunk their way to field goals or touchdowns, take a lot of time off the clock, tire that defense out, because if you're just going to be sitting there, for 4 or 5 seconds waiting for a receiver to get open, it might not happen, because Matthew Betts, Levi Bell, Darnell Sankey, Joanna Tavai, those monsters are going to get you, because there's no offensive line that can hold for that long without getting penalized. So in my opinion, if you're listening, Mark Mueller, if the ball is not out of Trevor Harris's hands within 2.5 seconds, you might as well just throw it away, because that BC front seven is going to get you. Again, if they are playing their A game, that's what's going to happen. If not, that's Trevor Harris is going to dissect that secondary. It's not going to be pretty in case that happens. Now, the reason I go with that route is because Saskatchewan had a huge amount of roster turnover, because as that always happens when you win the Grey Cup. BC, not so much. They lost Avery Eberhardt. They lost Jarrell Broxton. And they lost someone. I can't think of his name right off the bat. But Christian Covington, they released him. Those are guys that can be replaceable. And the turnover in Saskatchewan is just going to be too much. I think you're going to see Saskatchewan come out guns blazing in the first quarter, defending Grey Cup champions, banner raising. But I think BC has just been together for a few more years. They got this. I think BC wins this one. Maybe not take the over. I think defense will probably take away from any kind of offensive prowess. BC does win this one 30 to, maybe take the over 30-23 over the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And on that note, so it looks like that we both have, we both have Montreal, we both have BC, and we differ on Hamilton and Winnipeg. So if you're keeping track at home,
someone have Mr. Perfect music next week?
Someone might. Or, unless we're both wrong on the ones that we agree on. But
yeah.
On that note, any final thoughts before we end it this week?
No, I took the filter off and I realized I want to do this anyways. The guy that let me stay with him, a good friend of mine now, cosplayer, Pax. I forget his name. That if you find him on social media under Pax PX, he cosplays. You'll see him at Calgary Expo. You'll see him at Calgary Con. You can see in the back where all the cool Star Wars helmets and stuff. He shows up as Doctor Strange as well. To me, that's his best one. He was hoping I would show more of his stuff on the podcast because he's very proud of it, and he makes all these helmets and stuff without making a seasick, turn everything around. But thanks, Lauren, for letting me stay at his place for this month and on to bigger and better things, I guess, in BC after this stay in Red Deer. So
I cannot wait to see what the internet is like in BC.
It's going to suck. I got a feeling it's going to suck. We may not have a lot of shows in BC, but we'll see.
On that note, you can find us on all socials at Rouge Radio, myself at Rouge Dalt, Tony at Tony Rouge. You can email us at thenewrouge@gmail.com, facebook.com/Rouge Radio. Like and subscribe to us on all podcast applications as well as on YouTube. Just search for either Rouge Radio or the New Rouge. There's some way that there's a difference. And of course, we're available on the TikTok at Rouge Radio Pod. For Tony, I'm Daltz. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening. Find more great shows like this at CF Pod Network on Twitter.